Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That is Tyler.
What
here.
it is, sir?
How are you, sir?
Doing good.
Here on this Thursday afternoon, Kevin Durant will not be traded for the NBA trade deadline, which just expired right now.
It's over.
It's over.
The we had a lot going on there. Sorry we were a second late. Scoops and I were watching
Things were happening.
Things were happening at the Scoops household.
There was a armed, masked gunman in the neighborhood.
He was.
I mean, I saw it.
Related to me too.
I mean,
related to me.
A masked gunman walking in the neighborhood.
We had some senior pranks taking place, and my son was assigned to get Carson McCready
specifically to assassinate him.
to assassinate him with a water gun. Let's make sure we're clear with that. You know, we don't get any strikes today.
That's true.
And so things started taking a turn as I was leaving to come over to Scoop's house. My son out of the blue calls and says, "Hey, are you over at Mr. McCready's yet?" And I was like, "No, I'm going to leave here shortly." He says, "I'm going with you." I said, "For what?" He says, "Well, see what had happened was." And then when I showed up, Carson was prepped and ready to go. Carson had his goggles on. He was ready to go.
I think he has been sensing that he's got a target on him.
So Scoops and I sat up here in the studio looking out the windows, watching it all unfold. So we were a couple seconds shy of hitting the button because we were being entertained by the younger generation of Americans.
Yes. And
all the stupid shit they do, which does include attacking other seniors with water guns. Never got into that.
No, we never did that either. I don't even remember what we did or didn't do, actually.
I don't think we did a senior. Oh, look there. Right on time.
All right, we'll start an audio file and get rolling here on this Thursday. Thanks for everybody being with us. Appreciate it. Welcome into episode 258 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready. That is Tyler Siskey here on this Thursday, February the 6th. Hope everyone's having a wonderful week as we approach the weekend. We're brought to you each and every show by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Scoops, the Cooper Chevrolet chat is already bumping, and it's going to be bumping today. Remind everybody, check this out. You can take advantage of this amazing Buick Encore GX incentive. Get one from around $20,000 with Buick's $3,000 Conquest rebate if you own or lease a 2011 plus, so 2011 plus non-GM vehicle. No trade-in is required. Call our good friends at Cooper Chevrolet at area code 256-236-4481. And check this out. There's only 15. They only have 15 in stock. So make sure you give our friends at Cooper Chevrolet a call, area code 256-236-4481. Scoops were brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Brandon and our good friends at PTG Outdoors. They are a Camus boats dealer. They have both from fresh and saltwater boats. They sell and service Mercury outboards and do custom marine electronic installations with Garmin, Humminbird, and Lowrance products. You can get all of your fishing needs and custom golf cart retrofits where they replace all of the batteries with a single lithium battery. Located right there in Grenada, Mississippi. Make sure you give them a call at area code 662-459-9311. Or more importantly, AJ, it's Valentine's Day. Let me tell you what Catherine would love for Valentine's Day. She would love for you to get her some fishing tackle from PTG Outdoors. She needs new jigs. She needs new lures. She's ready to go. Get her a new rod and some line. Let's order it from PTGOutdoors.com.
Absolutely. You know, when you think of Catherine, you think, what would she like? You think
it's coming up next week.
I mean,
we're like 8 days away.
Fishing gear, no question about it. New lures
from PTG Outdoors.
No question about it. She would love that. How exciting would that be?
And in case she's not down with the lures, AJ, do you know what else she needs to do? What? The new official RV dealer of the McCready and Siskey Show, County Line Campers.
She'd love an RV.
I mean, it's located right there off I-10, exit 38, right there in Gulfport, Mississippi. It's about a good 30-minute drive from AJ's house, maybe 45 the way, maybe 25 the way he drives. Depends on what car he takes out. But go visit County Line Campers. You can get up to 48% off of brand new 2024 RVs, AJ, for less than $199 a month. That's right. That's $1 less. And so instead of AJ gives Catherine a $200 budget when she goes to the boats. Instead of taking her to the boats each month, get her a new RV from County Line Campers.
She'd love it.
Visit countylinecampers.com to see all the deals.
I bet they'd have a drawer in there for somewhere for the lures.
No question.
No, absolutely no doubt.
No question. Make sure that go visit countylinecampers.com. That's right, countylinecampers.com, and see all of the deals. And for a limited time, receive a free backup camera. AJ, a free backup camera with any RV purchase. So when she's driving it and she's backing up, she won't hit anything.
No.
Because she gets the free backup camera.
Unless she's distracted by the new lures.
This is
it could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
Whatever.
Make sure you give them a follow on all their social
media
media accounts.
Walter's insurance.
That's right. Make sure you go get all the social media accounts at County Line Campers on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, and check everything out with our good friends at County Line Campers. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
You doing
How
good?
about y'all? Other than y'all trying to get me to spend all this money.
You know, I mean,
we're not really trying to get you to spend money.
Deals.
We're really more focused on Valentine's Day and you doing something that Catherine will find meaningful and fulfilling, and she'll enjoy.
I mean, there's nothing better than fishing lures and campers.
It's the gift that gives the whole year round.
Yeah, I mean, you can go on trips and the whole deal. You could take your camper,
spend quality time together.
Yeah, dude, you can go get you a camper from County Line Campers, okay, with your fishing lures, and go to the baseball tournaments every weekend with your kids. You can load them up. It can be like the McCarron bus, and you can drive, and you can have a place to stay. You won't have to spend hotel. I mean, like, think about the hotel prices that you're going to have to spend.
The issue is I already got an RV.
Hey, we can go trade it in for a new one.
Well, yeah, if they want to buy it, hey, I'll hit County Line up. It's a 43-foot Allegra bus. So, hey,
look at you.
More than welcome.
He's got all kinds of fun outdoors toys. All right.
And then I don't need any fishing rods. I appreciate it. PTG, Mickey Mouse rods at Walmart. You know, we're on a budget, balling on a budget over here. So,
AJ, in case y'all didn't know, AJ does not. You would never have to worry about being on those ESPN broke episodes. You know what I mean? You never have to worry about that. Ever. AJ will not spend money ever. So he's good.
Yeah, I hope not.
Hey, there's worse qualities to have. It could be.
That's
it
true.
could be the other way around. All right, AJ. This weekend we waited till today. I think Scoops should be very proud of me. By the way, I have not brought up the Super Bowl, but just to mention the line in 2 weeks.
That's true.
Have not brought it up. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, but by God, this is our last show for Sunday. But by God, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going for the three-peat down in New Orleans against the Philadelphia Eagles and the Georgia defense.
All right, so let me go ahead and tell you guys right now, at the end of this segment,
okay,
the two of you are going to tell me what to pick. I got to do rebelgrove.com.
I can do it right now.
We're tied. It's a three-way tie at the top in Neal's Picks, our annual competition. Three-way tie. I kind of go all over the place on this game. I need to get the game right. I need to pick a winner. I either need to go Kansas City minus 1.5 points, or I need to go Philly plus 1.5 points.
So y'all not doing the new line?
What is
it? Bumped down to 1.
We had it at 1.5.
Okay, it just moved 2 days ago.
Okay, it's 1.5. So I got, and not that changes a whole lot.
You got to win.
Y'all got to tell me which way to go, and that way, if I don't get it, I can blame y'all.
I bet you me and AJ are on opposite ends of it too.
Well, if that happens, then I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe Catherine cast the deciding vote or something. But figure it out.
All right.
Okay. I mean, figure it out.
So for me, I have been it's the three-peat is the elusive three-peat, right? It's been a long time. By the way, what do you think of the tropical?
It's very good. Excellent.
It's awesome. AJ, you got to try one of these tropicals right here, sir. Get your mind right.
Well, tell them to send some to my house.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that because I don't want you to go spend $3 at the. I don't want you to get into Catherine's boat budget going to the gas station.
Yeah.
All right. The Chiefs are -1 versus now. It was at 1.5 down, and the total is still at 48.5. Okay. Eagles money line, you can get it plus 107, depending on what book. That book I use is plus 107. Look, I think the Chiefs are going for the elusive three-peat. It hasn't been done. I mean, in the modern era, Packers say, hey, 100 years ago. Hasn't been done.
That's right. Has no one ever won 3 in a row?
Not in the modern era of football.
Not in the Super Bowl era?
Not in the Super Bowl era.
How about that?
Now, before when they had the NFL, Green Bay won like 8 in a row back in the
Think about that, because in Major League Baseball, the Yankees did it with Jeter and all those guys.
Yep.
The Bulls did it twice.
Yep.
The Lakers did it twice, post-Jordan. That's interesting, isn't it?
Did the Lakers do it?
No, the Lakers did it once with Magic in them.
Yeah.
And then they did it. Shaq.
They did it once with Shaq.
Kobe did three-peated.
Yeah.
And then they broke up. Yeah.
Has an NHL team three-peated?
Oh, you're asking the wrong dude on that one.
I don't
no
think
idea.
so.
No clue.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But they're going for the elusive three-peat. They're playing the Eagles. I think this game has been the whole time as a pick 'em. I can be talked into anything. I'm going, because I think it's a pick 'em, I'm taking the Eagles. Okay. And if I'm taking the points, I definitely take the Eagles plus 1. To further, what I am personally betting on the game is I'm taking, because of value, instead of minus 110, I'm going to get it at plus 107, basically by giving up a point. I'm taking the Eagles outright.
Okay, so here's my AJ. Before you weigh in, when you say that, here's what goes through my mind. I actually think the Eagles are the better team, but you're making me bet against Patrick Mahomes. And I saw a stat today, and here's the stat that I might not get it exactly right.
I'm going to give you one that's going to make you flip back the other way. Go ahead.
Against teams that have defenses that give up is like an elite defensive number. And Philly has an elite defense. You know what his record is in those games? He's played 23 of those.
Probably 23-0.
20-3.
That's pretty good.
20-3. NFL quarterback going 20-3 against the elite defenses. That's pretty high cotton, as they say.
All right, I'm picking the Eagles. I'm going to turn this over to AJ. I'm picking the Eagles, and I'm going to give one stat the reason. I've always been thinking the Eagles because of value, but I felt better taking the Eagles because of this stat. In Super Bowls where it was matched up with a team that got a first-round bye versus a team that didn't get a first-round bye, the team that's favored, that's been the first-round bye team, like Kansas City's favored right now, is 1-9 outright and 0-10 versus the line in Super Bowls. And the
team that got the bye is 1-9?
The team that got the bye is that's favored is 1-9. So the Chiefs basically would be the wrong pick.
That's an interesting stat.
And 0-10 versus the spread.
Okay.
1-9 outright as winner. Like they've lost the game outright.
Okay.
9 out of 10 times.
All right, AJ, the floor is yours.
Do we know what hotels they're staying at down there?
That does make a difference.
I can find out.
A big difference.
Hey, explain the difference.
Because I'll tell you this. My history playing down there, all right, we stayed at the one that's right on Canal.
Across the street from
well, that was the senior year. All the teams that lost in the national championship or the big bowl games stayed there. And the one that was closer to Bourbon Street hotel that we stayed at in 2011. My internet might be going crazy. But the one that stayed closer to Bourbon Street is where we won. And we won there, and it was like a crazy history on. Do what?
I said I'm over in the same hotel that you're in because I've been down there several times with teams. Every time I've stayed in the hotel across the street from the casino, we've lost.
The Chiefs are staying at the New Orleans area on Canal Street.
Where are the Eagles staying?
I'm looking.
Is that closer? Is that towards the end by Harrah's, or is that closer towards Bourbon?
I'm looking.
We got our investigative super sleuth over here.
The New Orleans Marriott on Canal Street. It's I'm looking, seeing where that is. Just says on Canal Street. Says it is a state-of-the-art gym.
I'm going to look at the map. I'm going to pull it up and tell you. I know as soon as I see it.
I was about to say, pull it up at the map because
the Eagles are
whatever's closer to the to Harris, it's like right across the street in the corner is the bad one.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm over in.
The Eagles are staying at the Hilton. The one right there on the river.
Oh, that's the bad one. The Eagles are staying at the bad one.
That's the bad one.
So you're taking.
I think the Marriott's the one closest to Bourbon.
Canal Street's the one
Canal's
closest.
right there on Bourbon.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, but Canal runs all the way
it's the
down,
one,
right? Like
but the one I just looked it up. The one
it's right off Bourbon. I mean, it's a short walk.
The one you're talking about is the one the Chiefs are staying in is the good one. Oh man, that hurts.
Is the one closest to Bourbon Street? You said?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the one. It's right between the French Quarter and the Warehouse District.
Yeah.
And so,
that helps me out.
Yeah, because guess what? It's right next to now.
So we stayed in the one across
from Harris.
What?
From Harris.
Which one?
The one that's no good is the one across the street from Harris. The Hilton Riverside is the one that's no good, and that's the one the Eagles are staying in.
My internet going in and out.
Yeah,
but right. either way, I think Philly has the better team. Like Scoots was saying, I think they're completely loaded. It's hard for me to bet against Pat, and it's hard to bet against Coach Reed with basically 2 weeks to prepare for this. I think he's going to have an unbelievable scheme that, especially opening up, comes out and takes advantage of some things that Philly might do. I think he's going to hit them with some different looks, different formations, different motion shifts. Like, he's going to make them communicate and think and have to be perfect. It's hard for me, and I think Spags, the D coordinator for KC, will have a really good plan to bring pressure, whether it's simulated pressure or actually pressure, and I think they'll have different packages from a pressure standpoint.
So who are you taking?
I'm taking Kansas City.
I got to tell you, so here's the way I'm looking at it. If I'm going to lose, I want to lose going, well, I lost with Patrick Mahomes. My fear is going, I'm going to outthink this, and I lose, and I'm like, damn it. I knew it was Mahomes. He beat me. I don't want to get beat by him. Does that make sense?
It's fair. It's a fair. But here's the other thing.
I mean, all he does is win. It's like, frankly, it's like all those years that Tom Brady played Super Bowls. When in doubt, just go with the Patriots. I mean, you lost, but for the most part, you got it right? Unless it was Eli Manning or Nick Foles on the other side, you got it because he beat everybody else. And sometimes he beat teams that were better than his team.
All right, what about this though? Let's talk game theory. So who are you? Is it Jeffrey and Chase?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to take Kansas City. You got to go the opposite.
I don't know.
Jeffrey may go. I guarantee you, Chase is taking the Chiefs. So it's a matter. What do you think, Jeffrey?
So then it comes down. It comes down to score. Got to get the score right. Whoever gets the score right,
okay.
So if I go Chiefs and Chase goes Chiefs, well, we're going to finish in a tie, and this is going to be like a soccer game that goes to PKs. And it's going to come down to that. So I got to the score that's in my head is Kansas City 27, Philly 23.
I can see that. I hope I don't see it. I hope it's the other way around, but I can see that. I think it will be a one-score game. Like I actually think that the way they play, the way they play the game, I don't think it's going to be a field goal game. I think so. 4 points. I can see people going for it, not kicking field goals, things like that, because they're both aggressive by nature. But I think it's going to be. I think it's a one-drive game. I think regardless, somebody's going to have a chance to either tie or win the damn thing at the last possession. I think it's a legit good game. I like. I still think Nakobe Dean being out has hurt so far. Has hurt the Eagles' defense, but I don't think so this game because I think they need a bigger body anyway to cover Kelsey in a matchup. So I think that's going to help a little bit with that, with getting the reps and things like that, and being in the packages. I like the running game, Philadelphia's running game, Philadelphia's offensive line. That's the difference to me. Is Spags is unbelievable what he does defensively to create confusion, but they also haven't played an offensive line up to this point at the quality of the Eagles. The Eagles' offensive line may be one of the best offensive lines in the NFL in the past few years.
Yeah.
And I think with Saquon, I think they can shorten the game. I think they can put pressure on them. And look, as much as we talk about Mahomes, the last 2 years, their offense has not been the same. It's not been the same it's been before that. I mean, the numbers back that up. But
they make plays in big games, though.
They do. And there's a reason they're here. Like I saw, literally, I don't know where the hell I was. I was somewhere in some business or something, walking through somewhere they had a TV on. And I saw ESPN or somebody was rolling through all of the games. Maybe it was NFL Network. How close, like the close games, and how Kansas City's got to this point. I mean, the ball has bounced correctly for Kansas City this year, and I think it's due to bounce the other way. I mean, they donked one in for a win against the Chargers. They had the weird spot against Buffalo. There was 4 or 5 games that they won on like crazy shit that happened, but they won. And so I think it's time, the 50-50 stuff, I think it's time for the ball to bounce the other way. And I think the Eagles, I think it's time for them. I think Jalen Hurts, I think the focus of a lot of this team is this. A lot of the team is still here from losing to Kansas City the previous time, and it was a close game. I think this is all setting up to go the Eagles' way, in my opinion. But
if Kansas City can stop the run game somewhat, I think the odds of them winning go way in their favor.
Agree. I just don't think they can.
So can they?
I think they can slow it down enough. I mean, I think they play Chris Jones in different spots. I think they mix him up where he's not playing. They have to. And I think that's why I like Spags coming up with 2 weeks to prepare for this. I like him coming up with different packages to mix up their front, whether Chris is playing as the nose, he's playing 3 technique now, he's at the end. So it's hard to track him. And then you allow the other guys to get one-on-one matchups and possibly get pressure. But I think there's ways they can slow this run game down, get them into some third and mediums, third and longs, and then it's back in your favor. The thing that Kansas City has that, I mean, it's not being talked about is just how many weapons they have, like dudes that can get the ball on a toss jet sweep, or just the eye trickery that they have with some of their schemes, with the RPO game and everything, like getting it to these dudes that can absolutely run. I think plays in their favor because they have so much speed. I'd like to see them use D-Hop more in this game because I think there's also Philly struggling with bigger receivers in certain situations. And D-Hop didn't play much against Buffalo, but I think he's going to be hopefully involved a little bit more as well. And I also think Kansas City's run game is a little underrated at times.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think, up front defensively, I think the Eagles are – I like the matchup. I like Philadelphia's matchup up front on both sides of the ball. I think Kansas City has Chris Jones, and I can't remember the white dude's name, the guy's come on as an edge rusher the last few weeks. But I think when Chris Jones is out, that defense is different.
Karlaftis or Karliftis.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't see color.
Yeah, well.
It's not you.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, that's how I've been, right? And I'll say this, AJ, I think it's one thing, and you mentioned it, we briefly, I want to explain this too to the fans, is like you have to move Chris Jones around. If you put Chris Jones just straight inside the whole game, it's going to cause a whole different package, blitz package and pressure package. Kansas City would have to put in, because let me tell you, when Chris Jones pushes the pocket, Jalen Hurts is going to escape deep into the right. And so if you know you got a guy that's going to push the pocket like Chris Jones is going to do, I mean, he's going to get his now. Okay, he'll get blocked some, but he's going to get his. When he pushes the pocket, you got to know every time you put him inside, it's going to slow down make you less aggressive. Like, you better make sure your five techniques and your pass rushers know that, hey, look, he's going to escape deep to the right here, and it's going to allow you. And so you got to make sure you're disciplined in your rush lanes on that side, because if they what they can't allow Jalen Hurts to do is extend plays and let those receivers get open. You know, that's when he finds Goddard. He'll find Devontae Smith's great understanding spacing, those kind of things. So by putting, like, I wouldn't be surprised at all, like even in the slightest, on 3rd and medium, 3rd and 5, let's call it 3rd and 5 to 8, I would not be shocked in the slightest to see Chris Jones line up to Jalen Hurts' right side to force him not to do that, to try to escape, try to push him back to the up and to the left. I think that makes him a less effective passer. And if they do put Chris Jones in the middle in those situations, to be expecting to bring deep, wide edge pressure with even corner hammers, even safeties rolling down nickel pressure, something to keep them on their upfield shoulder, and bringing the 5 technique, occupying the, keep them from using a lot of fan calls and things like that. So I expect to see some of that in the blitz packages, but that's because they got the guy that can't push the pocket.
I think the other key to this game that Philly had trouble with versus Washington, I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but I think you're going to see Travis Kelce have a massive game. Philly had a really hard time with Zach Ertz. Like they were struggling, and if Zach can get open, listen, Zach don't run routes like Travis. Travis might have gained weight and he's older and everything. Dude is a genius when it comes to route running. He will set your ass up, and if they want to play man coverage like they were in the Washington game, like Travis is going to have a field day.
I know this sounds weird. I almost think that's a good thing for Philly, because they know it's something they have to work on. You don't want to be coming in this game with not really thinking you're good. You know what I'm saying? They know. I think Philly knows that they had to address that. They got their lunch ate with the tight end too. You know what I mean? So hopefully that'll change. But I'm saying hopefully because I'm betting on the Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yep. Hey, by the way, a correction. Not a correction, but a note from our friend Southern Charm Sports. He says there have been NHL three-peats.
Oh.
He said 5 specifically, none since 1983. The Montreal Canadiens won 5 in a row from 1955 to 1960, 4 in a row, 75 to 79. The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Good run.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Toronto Maple Leafs won 3 in a row back in 1946 to 49, and again in 61 to 64. And the New York Islanders won 4 in a row from 79 to 83.
Yeah, that was definitely. I was 6.
So that was before my time.
From 1975 to 1983, only 2 teams in the NHL won: the Canadiens and the Islanders.
What year were you born? 90, 91, 90?
90.
90, that's what I thought. All right. Moving on. I'd like to make a special announcement. Can we get our special announcement horn over there? You just got that pulled up? Special announcement, AJ. No, not that one.
That was clown.
On behalf of the McCready and Siskey show, on behalf of the Common Sense Party, 2024 Common Sense Party, that the platform that we ran our show on when we ran for president, on behalf of all people that have any kind of fucking common sense in this planet, I would like to say standing ovation. Let's go here. Shout out to our good friend Donald J. Trump for issuing an executive order that bans, because let me tell you what we don't do on this show, AJ. We don't do pineapple on pizza. We don't do boneless chicken wings. We don't call our seltzers beer.
I want to hold up on the boneless chicken wings.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Just no, those are called saucy
Hold on.
nugs.
Yeah,
No, I said boneless chicken wings. I didn't say saucy nugs.
Got to get paid.
Hey, yeah. Didn't say saucy nugs. This requires if you go to a chicken wing store.
In fact, I specifically recommend the spicy ghost pepper.
We do saucy nugs though. All right, we don't.
Thank you.
We don't call our seltzers beer. And by God, if you eat corn on the cob, eat corn on the cob. Don't turn that sumbitch long ways and don't cut it off. Let me tell you what else we don't do, AJ. We don't do tampons in men's restrooms. We don't do that here. And last but not least, we don't dig dudes playing chick sports. And he came through on his promise, and he issued an executive order yesterday banning all trans dudes from participating in female sports. And what did the NCAA do? NCAA Charlie Baker, the man, says, we're not going to do it either. Issues it yesterday. It's out. It's over. We don't have to talk about this shit no more. And look, I want you to, if that's your thing, if that is your thing, right, you can go participate, go try out for the men's team. I'm sure there's a men's volleyball team at San Jose, or you can transfer somewhere that does. If you're a dude playing chick sports, you can still play. Go try out for the men's team. Just go try out for the men's team. But, hey, shout out to my guy right there, Donald J. Had a baby. Let's go. Made my day.
Trump's going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Thought he was.
Listen, that is going to be a nightmare to get in.
Oh, can you imagine?
Here's what I can tell you, though.
Dude, when he was at the Alabama-Georgia game, it was Secret Service. It was a nightmare to get in. And I was with team officials, and they wouldn't let us in. It was awful.
If that happens to you in New Orleans, if you're going to the game and Secret Service holds you up and you can't get in, do not fear. Your day is not ruined. Your day is not ruined. Take a deep breath, collect yourself, and go to Wendy's.
Spicy.
And get those spicy, saucy nugs, the crispy, spicy nugs you love, and turn them up to 11.
Spicy.
11. You'll be up to 11. The Chiefs will have 11. Philly will have 11. Referees will call 11 roughing the passer penalties. Turn them up to 11.
Spicy.
You got buffalo.
Spicy.
You got honey barbecue.
Spicy.
You got garlic parm.
Spicy.
And listen, if you're a real heat seeker,
I am.
try spicy ghost pepper. Only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. That's seven delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. So pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before for a whole new way to nug. It's got to be Wendy's.
And if you happen to be listening to us from the Gaza Strip, you may be getting you some spicy nugs soon, too.
But for now, this is only a participating U.S. Wendy's.
Spicy. Hey, AJ. Where'd you go?
Gaza Strip.
Where'd you go? Hey, AJ. In case you're trying.
What happened to your career, Neal? Well, you see, there was this Thursday in February. I was reading a Wendy's ad, and next thing you know, yep.
Yeah, it happened.
What'd you say? I didn't say anything.
I was just on the other side. I just had the headset on.
I just sat there.
AJ disappeared. He didn't want to be on the camera for that one.
Yeah, AJ went off camera.
Well, in case you're trying to figure out how to get to the Gaza Strip,
I couldn't get a lightning strike fast enough.
we didn't get a strike on TikTok. TikTok's they didn't turn to page 2.
Well, what you're probably finding out with TikTok is that all their employees have been getting paid by USAID.
Oh, see, now there you are. That got
so they're out. they're out. There's nobody there anymore.
They just left the lights on for us. We'll leave the lights on for you.
Or they're the only ones reading their Politico subscription.
Or maybe they were part of the CIA and took the buyout. They're not working there anymore.
Yep, we're all going to hell now. It's official, all of us. Scoops, check this out. Big savings, AJ. Big savings are happening right now at Kia of Meridian. You can get $10,000 in rebates and 0% financing on select vehicles. Plus, for a limited time, we're matching your down payment. AJ, listen to this. They are matching your down payment up to $2,500. That means more car for your money all month long in the month of February at Kia Meridian. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit Kia of Meridian today. Kia of Meridian, where great deals drive home with you. Give them a call. Give Trav a call at area code 601-483-6444. And when you buy that car from Kia of Meridian, you can go to Trav, say, Trav, you know what? You know what I want to do, Trav? I want to spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, a TV, an Xbox, and more. Give our good friends at Kia of Meridian a call. And AJ, in case when they go, you may tell you what they're going to need when they go to fix when they go to put the new Wendy's and all that stuff in the Gaza Strip. They're going to need a place to stay. So they need to give our friends at County Line Campers a call. County Line Campers, you can save up to 48% on remaining new 2024 models, including RVs for under $199 a month. It's a new year. It's time for a new RV. You can check out all the pre-loved motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers at County Line Campers in Gulfport, Mississippi, located right there off of I-10 exit 38. Open 7 days a week. Give our good friend Rob, all those guys down at County Line Campers a call. Make sure you give them, go to countylinecampers.com and follow them on all their social media channels on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right, we got a super chat from Shaker Jack. This is on the agenda anyway, so here we go.
All right, so before you even read it, I hadn't looked at it yet. Before you read it, Shaker Jack has worked with me somewhere. Okay. Shaker Jack knows me.
Okay.
Like knows me because he knows stories that I don't tell, and he's trying to get me in the lives.
Okay.
So I think I have a suspicion who it is.
Okay.
But he knows way too much.
Well, he wants to know, will Alabama's offense be better? He says Grubb's plays are elite.
He's starting shit. That's what he's doing. He's starting shit. Shaker Jack, though, he's been in the lives when we do a TikTok lives. He's been on YouTube, and he's been talking about stories that I haven't told on him before, and he knows too much. So whoever he is, I will find out.
Ben says Wendy's can come out with Gaza strips. Yeah, show's been fun.
It's been real.
I don't know.
We did. We made it
258
before we got canceled.
You know, it's pretty good.
It was pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
Pretty good run. All right, AJ. You and I talked privately, and we missed you. We talked about it on Monday's show. I figured there's no better person to ask this question to. I'm going to defer this super chat right on over to Mobile, Alabama, and the three-time world champ, the three-time national champ, AJ McCarron. What is your opinion? Do you think Alabama's offense will be better? Because Shaker Jack is just straight teeing it up. He knows. Remind you, Shaker Jack is somebody that we probably know. He knows too much, but he says Grubb's plays are elite. Thank you, Shaker Jack, for teeing that up. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, I don't know what plays are going to be completely different from that play call sheet they had last year with Nick Sheridan. I think what's going to help is you're going to have somebody else at the helm of the offense that is going to be able to throw the ball a little bit better, possibly pre-snap read and post-snap read a little bit better, have a little more accuracy when they decide to throw it, and I think that's going to improve your offense. So, listen,
it's like players, not plays. Is that what are you breaking it down to say it's players, not plays?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Listen, I saw y'all's clip from Monday. Scoops, I text Siskey and told him he had everybody fired up, all the Alabama fans hating him.
I didn't say anything wrong. Nobody said. How about this? Everybody's mad, but they have not one person has said you're wrong. They're just upset. Their feelings are hurt. They got their pink panties. They had their pink panties on. Somebody gave them a wedgie, and once they removed that 9-3 wedgie from their crack, they can be realistic about things.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with what you said.
Shaker Jack says that Grubb uses a customized call sheet. Says
He started shit
he
up.
says he has many more running plays specifically designed for the running back.
All right, so Shaker Jack again, he's just stirring shit up. I now know who this is. I will call you after the show. I know who this is. It's a coach. Go ahead.
Well, I don't.
We got trolls. We got coaches trolling us now. That's the best part.
About the only thing that might be customized on it is how did he laminate it? Was it in cardstock?
I just want
regular paper. What was it?
So let me.
Yeah.
For the people who aren't in on the joke.
Yeah.
Which at this point includes me, which is fine. I don't care. Are we saying that Ryan Grubb, his presence at Alabama won't change anything, and it's going to be the same offense?
No, he's an elite coach.
Okay,
he's an elite coach. But the whole point I've been trying to say the whole time is it's about players, not plays. Okay, when the time that Nick Saban arrived in Tuscaloosa in 2007 to the time he dipped out at the end of 2023 or 2024, early 2024, whatever that was, the offensive system never changed. Okay, Lane Kiffin didn't come in there and change. Like put in new plays. Now, you may call things differently and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's about the people who are executing the plays. When you go and you really watch football, okay, do you know how many teams in America run inside and outside zone?
I would assume most everyone, yes.
All of them. And you know what plays, do you know like Saquon Barkley? Great example, Saquon Barkley, okay? He runs for 2,000 yards this year, okay? Would he have ran? They're running the exact same plays he's always ran his entire career, but what is different is the guys he's got blocking up front. Okay, and then he's got a quarterback that's mobile, and he's also got elite receivers to throw to, and so you're having to play the defense better. It's about players, not plays. And so you can sit there and you can run like I'll tell you, I can say it now because the system's not there anymore. Every year, and when you wanted to run power at Alabama, okay, power, it was called plant. Okay, it was called plant. That was the play for power. And then all of a sudden you go, hey, you know what we want to do? We're going to run power read. Okay, that change went from plant to plant book. It went from plant to plant book. The plays are the same. They don't change. And so the same.
This was the signal. North plant, south plant, book, which is read.
Yeah, we can say it now. There's nobody running it. But everybody runs power, okay? Does power work better? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think power would run just as good with what's my guy's name that everybody got their feelings hurt? Ole Miss running back that didn't play.
Ulysses Bentley.
Would you rather have Ulysses Bentley the fourth running power at Alabama or Derrick fucking Henry? Which one do you think works better?
Oh, let me think for a minute. Gosh, dog. I would probably call Shaker Jack first and ask, but if you made me guess, I would probably go with Henry.
Yeah, it's about players, not plays, and it's the same thing. It's like at Auburn, and Grind's in here. I say Grind in here in the chat, but like at Auburn, when they had Cam Newton, they were running the same plays that they had with everybody else. The difference was they had Cam Newton playing quarterback. He was pulling and running power read and read zone with 3 unblocked defenders. Okay, 3 unblocked defenders, and he's running around one, through the other one, and hurdling the third one. Like it's about, and everybody's like, great play call. Great play call. It's about players, not plays. And so I remember, Hugh and Gus were real good friends, and we would go and we would watch those cut-ups, and I'd be like, yeah, that's a great play, but we don't have Cam Newton back there. Our guy's going to get tackled for a 2-yard loss. And so when you got, and it's the same thing. What
did Hugh say to that?
Huh? Well, I mean, he was showing that he agreed, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
He got it. It's not hard to figure out. But, when I'll say this, AJ, when you started, when I started, AJ was a freshman, okay? When he started his first game, he was like 13 years old when he started his first game, for 13 or 14. Okay, we were terrible. Okay, we were terrible. And I did more scheming and everything else the younger they were. The year we won it, and we had, AJ was a junior, and we had Mark Barrett and Ivan Match and Destin Hood, all those guys were seniors. That was the worst scheming of all time. It didn't matter. Like I was doing, AJ's going to laugh because he's going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I was taking front side combos all the way back to the backside backer, okay, by design, and leaving a dude in the hole for Ivan Matchett. Like not blocking the play side linebacker. That is the worst scheme idea in the history of mankind. But why did I do that? Because Ivan was going to run through his ass or around his ass 7 out of 10 times, and he was going to score, and the defensive coordinator would never adjust because he had me beat on the board. Like, that's where it comes down to players, not plays. And you look like a guru, and I was joking, AJ is laughing when I tell this. Nobody, when I was scheming people up, nobody really wanted to talk to me. And then when we won a state championship, I wasn't doing anything on scheme. Our scheme was very basic. But everybody wants to talk to you in clinics and stuff because you won. And so I think Ryan Grubb is an elite coach. I'm going to say this again, just like I said in the video. He is an elite coach. But if he doesn't have the players executing the plays that he's calling from the same system, it's not going to matter. That's all I'm saying. Does anybody disagree with that?
No. I mean, I hate it for Nick Sheridan because he's catching all the shit for it, but I'd love to sit down with some fans that blame it on Nick the whole time and be like, all right, what would you want him to call right here? Because we've thrown 2 interceptions, one into a hitch into cover 2. We threw, an over route into a drop 8 zone, like when we should have just hit the check down right here. What scheme do you want him to call now other than zone read that he's probably going to do well in this? So,
yeah,
I mean, it sucks for Nick. Everybody has to understand that. Not knocking Grubb at all. But like Shaker Jack said, he chose to leave Seattle. No, he got fired. So something didn't work out in Seattle.
Not doing it.
Shaker Jack says, just hope Grubb's shoes are okay. They've been in storage. That's what he says.
This is Shaker Jack that knows way too much, and he's trying to get me to tell a story that I haven't told on here. I'm not going to tell it.
Okay.
That's how I know. He
was kind enough to send another super chat.
Appreciate you, Shaker Jack. I think I know who you are. He knows too much. That's how he knows way too much. He knows story. He's hinting at stories that I tell off air and drinking Diet Millers, not on the air. All right. Ryan Day. I want to shout out my good friend Ross Bjork. Have I told you Ross Bjork, the best AD in America, the best AD in the NCAA, Ross Bjork, the best AD. And Ryan Day, 1 month or about 6 weeks for all the fans wanting him fired. We got to get rid of Ryan Day. He's out of here. He flicks on the double bird. He goes and wins a natty. And what does he get? A new 7-year, $12.5 million contract per. Shout out to Ryan Day. Great day to be a Buckeye. Shout out to Ross Bjork. Tell them all to flip off. I like it.
Yep.
And new other Ohio State news, all kidding aside, new Ohio State news is shout out to Brian Hartline. I'm very happy. I don't know Brian personally, but I have respected him from afar in this business for a long time. I personally think he is the best evaluator of talent at that position in the country. He has just for years and years and years, and he's been rumored to be getting, head jobs, but he's never been a coordinator. With Kelly going to the Raiders, he's now going to be the offensive coordinator, and he's going to be in a good spot at Ohio State to produce numbers, and that will really boost him in an opportunity to become a head coach. So shout out to Brian Hartline. I think he's elite at the job, and I'm glad he's getting his opportunity after being an assistant for a long time. All right, another news. I don't know if you saw this or not, Scoop. Our good friend Neal Brown. Neal Brown will be the new offensive coordinator, the Virginia Tech Hokies. So a big change there. Neal's going to be in it. I think the game's better with him in it. I think he's an elite offensive mind. So Virginia Tech got him a good one there. All right, last thing, AJ, and I'm going to let you roll out. Last college football thing we have. I'm going to let you roll out. Scoops is going to be all excited about this one. So our good friend Ross Dellinger, who works for, I guess is Yahoo is his official employer. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Ross Dellinger, I think, is he's basically his job's turned into big picture journalism in the NCAA, but bless him, he probably needs a drink every 5 minutes. Released this afternoon, that the P4 conferences met this week in a unannounced meeting. They didn't tell anybody. ADs from all the conferences met, and they are creating a new entity to govern rev share, the rev share system, and college football in general. And I text somebody that was at that meeting after I read their name, and I said, and so it begins. And the response back was indeed. So this is just where it's starting. For the fans that don't know, what they did is they met ADs, representatives from each conference of the Power Four, met in Washington, D.C. They are going to govern rev share. They're going to enforce tampering. They're going to enforce, and this is a whole separate system away from the NCAA. Was not invited to this. So this is the first steps into a break off. I asked that specifically, and I was told indeed. So we'll be very interested to see how this goes forward. I've asked two people about the breakoff, specifically time frame. One said at the latest 2031, at the earliest the end of the current at the end of the current college football playoff contract, which will be at the end of next year, will be an announcement. So that's where we're at. Just not saying it. It's not my opinion. Just relaying information that I've gotten. But it needs to happen. It is what it is. I didn't bring up anything about a court case. You can't do that. I did not bring up anything about a court case. The only court cases matches come out. That's not a court case. Only court case matches come out. You got to save we're going to have plenty of talk about the court cases. I didn't even do a court case at all this week. Only matches during court cases because you're going to run out of matches. You're going to go get you some new ones.
I'll be able to get more. Drew, thank you for the super chat. He says, AJ, use this to take Catherine out for some saucy Gaza strips. Take that, TikTok.
How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? All right, AJ, last thoughts. Are you locked in? You're taking the Chiefs. It's official. You're locked in.
Yeah.
Have you decided what you're going to do yet?
I'm leaning AJ.
All right.
I mean, I love you, but
it's okay. I'll be the one right, and you two guys will be wrong.
That's the thing, right? Is that if you tell me I'm going to be wrong, which wrong would piss me off the most? Right? Which wrong's going to piss me off the most? If I'm wrong, well, yeah, but okay, but if you say, hey, you're going to lose, pick the way you lose.
Don't think like that. Think, I want to win.
Well, I do want to win, but I'm deciding which loss pisses me off the most, right? It's like Carson. Carson's a lot more pissed off if they lost to Starkville than he would have been had they lost to Madison Central.
Okay.
So, because one team's better than the other, and when you lose, right. All right. If I lose because I went with Patrick Mahomes and he just doesn't get it done, I'm like, well, okay. But if I lose because I tried to be cute and I went Eagles against Mahomes and Mahomes drives them down the field and Harrison Butker comes out there and kicks a 42-yard field goal to win it by 3 points, I'm going to really be like, why did I bet against that dude? All he does is win.
Not this week.
There he is again.
Not this week.
I think Kansas City 34-31.
All right. That's high.
High score.
Take the over. Over's at 48.5.
Wow, that's way over. Huh.
I think
they're going to put up some points.
I'm going 24-21 Eagles.
Okay. I think I'm going 27-24 Chiefs.
All right.
I'm over, but barely. AJ's way over, and you're under.
I'm under.
Yeah, I think it could be a high-scoring game because both of these offenses have the ability to have an explosive play at any point.
True.
And with the speed that both of these teams have, the running game the Eagles have with Saquon, and then whether it's Worthy, who's the other one, Brown, they have so many weapons. And I think it could be an offensive showdown at the same time.
We will find out. You got anything?
Yep.
You gonna be eating anything for the Super Bowl? You doing any prep, or you just straight?
No, we'll be coming from baseball practice. We have swag day where they get the new uniforms and all that. So We'll head to mom's after.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, brother. We're gonna talk some hoops. I know you got to go. Appreciate your time, boss. And hey, are you in for a Pete Sanchez show tomorrow night or no? What's your schedule?
Just hit me up.
All
It depends on how crazy I want to get.
I'm breaking out my new toys for tomorrow night. So you got to be the same one. So I need you.
All right.
I assume that right now we're talking about the toys, those toys.
We're talking about we are talking about the vitamins. I got some vitamins in the mail.
Okay.
Look at AJ. AJ's look.
We're brought to you by our friends at Easy Vitamin Company.
Yep.
Easy is a vitamin infused sparkling water. It's guilt-free alcohol alternative. It's a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural, made with real fruit, no added sugar. It's low calorie. It's gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of vitamins. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easysomething.com. I'll put it in the stream. To view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. It's Farm Bill compliant with vitamins derived from THC, CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Please enjoy it responsibly.
I think we're good. I'll let you know. All right, AJ, appreciate the hell out of you, brother. I'll hit you up tomorrow. All right, brother.
Peace.
I was looking. Well, you made it through on that one. I think they just left the lights on for us.
Oh.
No, talking about the ticker talker.
We made it? Okay.
Yeah.
How about that? We're also brought to you by our good friends at Parish Brewing Company. Getting ready for the big game. You want to get some good beer. It's not a time to have bad beer. It's a time to have good beer. You need Cajun country beer. Parish Brewing Company beer right there in Broussard, Louisiana. Their goal is to make outstanding, excellent, quality craft brewed beer, and they do it. They got the Dr. Juice. It's a crushable go-to IPA. What we got? Yeah, I know he's coming back. He announced it. But I might have a ghost in the machine tomorrow night just to honor Chet coming back. It's a double IPA. It's fantastic. Less bitterness than usual double IPAs. They've got Envy. It's an American pale ale. If you feel like being American, go Envy. They got Canebrake. It's a wheat beer. They got so much there at Parish Brewing Company. Wherever you get beer, if you're out at the bar, if you're at a restaurant, if you're at Funky's here in Oxford, they got Ghost in the Machine right there. If you are at the grocery store, make sure you look for Parish Brewing Company. You will not regret it.
All right, Scoop. So we'll talk a little SEC hoops and some national hoops here, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
So what we'll do kind of is we do our show.
Look, they're spinning the wheel on
ESPN.
Spin the wheel.
They're filling it. They're filling it.
How about that?
Love it. All right, so
they're all right now going, I want to tell you ride.
Sorrento, K5, and more.
Yeah.
Let's go. What we'll do is when we do the Thursday shows, we'll kind of talk a little bit about the midweek games and then preview Saturday, then vice versa on Monday. All right, Auburn beats Oklahoma 90-70. Not a surprise there. Auburn's Auburn. They're the most, in my opinion, the most complete team in the league. Florida played with their food a little bit against Vandy. It was kind of a back and forth game until about the 10-minute mark of the second half, and then Florida kind of opened it up. It started getting hot from the 3-point line and kind of extended the lead. But Vandy, good effort. Vandy played hard, and like I said, they were back and forth. Vandy's solid. They just get out-athleted at times. Ole Miss beats Kentucky 98-84. The best half of basketball I think I've seen anyone play this year. Ole Miss was El Fuego. They were 60-something% from the field with no turnovers and 50-something% from three. And they opened the second half by hitting their first 3 or 4 threes. Like they were
one turnover the whole game.
Yeah, one turnover the whole game.
That's pretty impressive.
And they didn't turn over Kentucky that much, but they and then the other thing, I don't know what the final number, I didn't look at the final number, but when I looked, with like 10 minutes to go. I think it was the last time I looked. They were even in the rebounds with Kentucky, so they didn't get outboarded. So was probably the best half of basketball. And look, Kentucky came out Kentucky made a run. They got it up to 27 early. Ole Miss did early in the second half. I think they got it to 24, 27-point lead, something like that. But Kentucky, dude, they went for like the first. It was fortunate that they had that lead. Kentucky went like the first. I don't know. They came out scorching hot on offense too. They started hurting Ole Miss in rotations on defense and were catching a bunch of free runners at the rim for, I don't know, like felt like 5 straight possessions. But Kentucky cut it to 11. But that's just too much to overcome in the second half of a college basketball game. So when you're down 27 in the second half, it makes it tough to come back. But they cut it to 11 and then ended up losing by 14. All right, yesterday's games. Tennessee comes back. Mizzou was in control of this game for a majority of this game. Missouri, from the opening tip, controlled this game. And then Tennessee gave up 81 points, which is a ton for Tennessee. But they got hot, and they finally started making some shots. And that's where Tennessee's dangerous. If Tennessee can make shots, because they will defend you. But Mizzou, there's nothing to hang their hat on. They beat Mizzou 85-81. And then the game that cost Arkansas has now cost the club 4.5 units in the last 4 days. Because we've won every other game but the Arkansas game. Had Texas in the club last night. Arkansas wins 78-70. And you
should have listened to me on this one. I had a feeling on this one. I know what the numbers bore out, but I think there's 2 or 3 SEC teams that the numbers are going to mislead a little.
This wasn't really what Arkansas did, though, as much as what Texas didn't do. Arkansas scored 6 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. They only scored 6 points in the first 10 minutes. And so they got behind.
Texas, you mean?
Texas, what I say, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Texas only scored 6 points in basically the first 10 minutes of the game, first half of the first half. And so they got behind. They started cutting it a little bit. And then after doing that, and they cut it down. Texas starts the second half going 0 for their first 12 from the field. And then they got just El Fuego towards the end to try to cut back into it. But it wasn't really what Arkansas, they just couldn't. And it wasn't even like they were defending. They were just missing shots.
They weren't getting good shots.
They had several at the butt. I mean, like dunks, missing wide open threes. They had several. They were taking bad shots. I mean, just all kinds of shit. But
they had some shot selection issues.
I think it was more though on Texas than it was what Arkansas did. But
I don't know.
I'm not there yet.
I'm a game away from going, huh?
Well, I'm glad because Arkansas is hosting Alabama this weekend, and I think Vegas is going to try to move that line. I bet you Alabama blows the doors off of them in Fayetteville.
Oh, interesting.
All right, Georgia does what they do. They win 81-62 at home. Georgia's hell at home. Georgia's hell at home.
Look, Georgia's good,
but they're hell at home.
They're good, very good at home. They're a good team though. They have a wonderful player.
Yeah, it's a lottery pick, right?
Yes. Asa Newell.
Newell, yeah.
When you have a player like him on your team, every game if he gets rolling, you're going to be tough. And he's very, very good. Mike's a good coach. They've got a nice team. They play hard. They've got good culture. I don't hate people. People do the hating on Georgia thing because the record's not super. Dude, their net's like 35. They're making the tournament as of today.
What are they? Do you think they make it?
Yes.
Okay.
Our buddy Grind's in the stream here. I'm gonna give him credit. He said this the other day, and it was the first time I really thought about it like that. We do this thing. It's like conventional, and I get it. It's kind of conservative and safe, and I understand it. We go, okay, well, the SEC is gonna get X teams.
Yeah.
And if the number's super big, we're like, oh, that's never gonna happen. Well, it's never gonna happen until it does happen. If you look at the country, 68 teams got to make the tournament. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
68 actual teams have to make the tournament. And so you look around and you look at all the traditional, like ACC used to get like 9 bids.
They used to be the cat's meow.
They're going to get like 4 bids.
Yeah.
Okay? The Missouri Valley, the Mountain West used to get like 6 bids. They're going to get about 4 bids. The
I think the Big 12 will get more than they used to get.
Big 12 is going to get a big number, and the Big 10 is going to get a big number. But I'm telling you, if you told me today that the SEC got 13 bids,
yeah, I'm not
blinking. If you told me they get 14 bids, and Grind's point was, well, they do it in softball
Correct.
and nobody says a word.
And baseball too, right?
And he's right. And so I think that's where this thing's headed. I said on the morning show this morning, Blue Sky Live, if you told me we did this thing before the year, you got to get to 8. Says who? Literally, says who?
Well, that was traditional thinking, right?
Yeah. I think 7 and 11 SEC teams. I don't know which ones, but like you look at this is yesterday nets, okay?
Damn, you got your shit written down on a damn notebook over there.
Texas was 25. I don't know what they dropped to after losing at home to Arkansas. I know Arkansas was 47. I think Chase said they moved up to 44. Vandy's at 43. OU's like 38. OU didn't get hurt by losing at Auburn last night.
What's the safe net number in the past?
Anything in the 40s?
Okay.
So you got, Oklahoma went, yeah, they got blown out. Sure, they look terrible. But they lost to a team that's a net of 1. On the road, it's not going to hurt you. You don't get hurt losing at 1. And that's the deal in the league. You got 1, 4, 5, 6, 14, 19, 21, 23, 25, 31. You're just compounding interest, if you will. And they're all staying there. There's only LSU right now is at 76. So, they're down a little. Quad 2. South Carolina's in the low 90s. You don't want to lose to them at home. But even if you go to Columbia and lose, it's just a quad 2 loss. It's not a killer. So you have all these other leagues that's got teams in the 180s and 200s, and you lose those games because college teams lose games. The SEC's just.
Drew brings up a good point here, too, that I really haven't thought about that way. But there's no more Pac-12.
Yeah.
So they're in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And their Big Ten is not going to get any more bids than they usually get.
Right.
Because they cannibalize themselves.
I think we're headed for this tournament where, here's my predicted storyline. The national media goes, this is bullshit. And they spend the entire first 2 rounds going, every time an SEC team loses, see? Yeah. Told you. No, I mean, look, the league's really good. I mean, if you watch these teams, it's like, I don't know, use Oklahoma as an example. If you watch Oklahoma play, they're a pretty good team. It's just that every game you play is good teams.
Yeah.
If you watch Arkansas's got multiple guys that can really play.
Yeah.
I mean, Adu, what's his name? Tiro Adu.
Yeah.
He's a first round pick. I mean, they have guys that are really talented players.
Mm-hmm.
The league's just really good. And so you play a lot of games against each other, and it comes down to a little bit of health and who gets hot on a certain day, a little matchup. I mean, the league's loaded.
Grind says they fell to 29.
Texas. Okay. Yeah. So they fell 4 spots, but they're still at 29. 29 is an absolute lock for the tournament. Yeah. A lock.
All right. So Saturday, let's talk SEC Saturday, then National. This is going to prove our point here.
Because let me finish with this point real quick. If the SEC tournament started today, I'm going to give credit where it's due. Somebody named Eli Hoff. He covers Missouri for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I want to give credit where credit's due. So he's got first-round games. I mean, listen to this. This is the first-round games. South Carolina, Vanderbilt. It's kind of a dud. Oklahoma, Texas. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, Kentucky. Be a big game for Kentucky. Arkansas, Georgia. Be a huge game. But both teams would go into it feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
The winner of South Carolina, Vanderbilt, likely Vanderbilt, would get Mississippi State. Great game. Winner of Texas, Oklahoma would get Texas A&M. No matter how you do, that's a great game. Let's say Kentucky beats LSU. You get a Kentucky Ole Miss rematch. Just telling you, that's a bad matchup for Kentucky. If that happens and you're in Nashville, be outside of Bridgestone right as it ends. Don't be obnoxious. Trust me on this. I've watched it happen. Be outside of Bridgestone right as it ends. And when they come out of the door, be like, hey, I'm really sorry that happened. Are you selling your tickets? They'll give them to you. And you'll be able to get in.
For every session.
You'll be able to get in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for free. Don't be an obnoxious jerk. Don't go, Gators suck. Gators got you. Don't do the Wildcats suck. Head back. No.
Be nice.
Be sympathetic. Go, hey, man, I'm sorry. That sucks. You came all the way here to see the Cats, and They're out. Are you coming back? Are you going to sell your tickets? They'll give them to you.
I was entertained in the second half by a Kentucky fan and an Ole Miss fan
Going back and forth?
about to throw down.
Yeah, that's stupid.
And it turned into, we knocked y'all out of the football playoffs, though.
And then you'd get the Arkansas Georgia winner would play Tennessee. So right now, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, and Missouri get the double buys.
Yeah.
So loaded. It'll be a great tournament.
Great. No, it's gonna be a great tournament.
I mean, the Thursday games will be fantastic.
Well, that's gonna be the difference, right? Is the Thursday games are gonna be like the Friday games have been in the past. You're getting basically an extra day of great matchups. All right, Saturday, Tennessee is traveling to Oklahoma. Big spot. I mean, Oklahoma. You talking about can secure some things. Oklahoma can make a big statement with an upset of Tennessee at home. I'm sure they'll be underdogs.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely,
they could be big for them.
Huge.
South Carolina's at Kentucky. I'd look for that to be a get-right spot for Kentucky.
It better be.
Texas at Vandy. Sneaky game.
I agree.
Sneaky game.
I agree. Vandy's been pretty good at home.
Vandy's been good at home.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter where they play. I think they match up well with Texas. So, sneaky game. Watch out for that one. All right, Texas A&M is at Mizzou. Great
fantastic
game.
Basketball.
Great game.
Yep.
Texas A&M at Mizzou. Great game. Florida, I guess this is the premier game of the day for all of college basketball. Number 6, Florida is traveling to Jordan-Hare. See, look there. I just hit Jordan-Hare on you.
Neville
traveling
Arena.
to Neville Arena. I know. I started almost said Pete Matthews Coliseum. What you know about Pete Matthews?
It'd be interesting if they played it in Jordan.
That would be interesting. They probably could fill it up.
They probably could.
Florida is at Auburn.
It's interesting because Florida's got the size down low to at least match up with Broom and Cardwell.
The thing that's so scary with Auburn is they play inside out so good, and they got dudes that can knock it down.
So many of them.
I mean, and they just roll them off the bench.
Yep.
And they just knock them down.
Yep.
And they never panic.
Ooh, Grind says he's got UF winning.
Wow. I don't know.
I'll be curious to see that line, by the way.
When was the last time Auburn lost at Neville Arena?
It was the day after.
It's been a minute.
It's the day after, what was it? It was like a historical event. I think it was the day after Nixon resigned.
And Florida goes through stretches. Like when Florida plays well, they're good. It's going to be a hell of a game.
Well, and someone in the stream said they get Clayton back. And Clayton's a
difference maker.
He's a difference maker. I think this is a potentially really fun game.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Florida,
3:00 game, think too. 3 or 4. All right, Mississippi State's at Georgia. Sneaky spot.
Oh, it's a good game.
Sneaky spot.
I kind of like Georgia here.
Big game for both.
But a big game, yeah.
Big game for both because Mississippi State can't afford. They got to get back on track.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Alabama at Arkansas.
Arkansas's got a little momentum.
I'll bet you
it's a night game.
I'll bet you that place is slammed.
Oh, it'll be absolutely. It'll be bedlam in there.
They got their juice back.
Yeah,
and I think Alabama's going to break their hearts. That's my prediction.
Okay.
All right. Ole Miss at LSU. Ole Miss needs to.
Yeah.
They got 2 trips here.
It's a spot for Ole Miss to get a couple. They need LSU, South Carolina coming up,
and they got to buy basically a week off in between, right? They don't play midweek next week.
I think that's
they go Saturday.
When do they go to Auburn? I think they go to Auburn here pretty quick.
They got a bye coming up.
Yeah, they got a bye coming up,
slot.
and I think it's between.
I don't know. I'll look in a minute.
Yeah, we'll find it.
All right. Ole Miss is at LSU. Ole Miss just needs to keep pace and do what they do.
Yep.
And then, so there it is. So how about this? To prove your point, what you were saying about other conferences, the only other all-day Saturday.
Yeah, I think me and Grind are both on. I think Grind and I are both gonna. We both had Arkansas beating Kentucky. We both had Arkansas beating Texas. I think we're both on Arkansas beating Alabama.
No way. No way.
Going to be interesting.
I'm going the other direction.
Okay. You could be right.
I'm going the other direction.
You could be right.
Going the other direction. I'm not buying it yet.
Alabama's played with its food on the road a little.
I'm not buying it just yet. All right. And to prove your kind of point about having the other conferences and stuff, all day Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, we have 2 in the SEC, nationally ranked versus nationally ranked.
Yep.
The only other game in college basketball that's ranked versus ranked is the Texas Tech Red Raiders are traveling to Arizona to take on Arizona, which will be a good game. That will be Saturday night. I think they're playing at night.
Big 12's really good.
Texas Tech is legit.
Yes.
Texas Tech is legit. Texas Tech is really good. And Arizona's good too. Love is amazing. So that'll be a good game, Arizona and Texas Tech. Love is really good. But Texas Tech they can get hot. Texas Tech is one of those teams that when you watch them, they are a team that can make a run in the tournament.
Yeah.
If they get the right draw, particularly. But I'd be looking. I imagine they're going to get. I bet you they get a good seed too. I think Texas Tech is very quickly becoming and they've won big games on the road. I mean, they went and beat Houston on the road last week.
Yeah.
They're quickly they're fast risers. They're hot right now. So those are the two. That's the only other ranked game in college basketball other than the SEC. That's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
So it's but we'll see. It'll be and then you got that on Saturday. We got UFC Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
We got the Waste Management golf tournament going on, and we got the Super Bowl on Sunday. So nice little fun week. Got a little break in NASCAR. You got qualifying happening this weekend for Daytona, but Daytona will be next weekend.
Okay.
So it's that time of the year, my friend.
Got to go to a wedding tomorrow night. Saturday night.
Who's getting married?
Our next door neighbor, right over there. I just saw her. That's what made me think about her.
Okay.
Ann Fava, she's getting married.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Saturday. I don't know what time that wedding is. 6, I think.
Usually it's 6.
Nothing against Ann Fava. I was hoping that I was going to be watching a soccer game at 6. But,
hey,
life goes on.
Life happens. Very, very, very well written article. If you haven't read Neal's article, he also put it on Twitter. So if you're not a member of Rebel Grove, it's on his Twitter account.
I'll put it in here before we sign off. Let's see if I can
attached article. If you have children that are playing sports and growing up, if you have a child at all, you don't even have to be playing sports, but it's a very good article. I joked with Neal. I told him I have the reading. I read on a 3rd grade level, so it took me quite a while to get through his writing. But if you haven't already, please go to if you're listening on podcast or TikTok or whatever, go to Neal McCrady's Twitter page. He's got it linked there. That's where I got it from. And he also, if you are a Ole Miss fan or a member of rebelgrove.com, he has it posted there as well.
Just posted it here in the stream.
And he posted it in the stream. So if you're listening, you won't go on YouTube. He's posted it in the chat on the stream.
Thank you. It was very nice of you to say.
It was very good. If you're a parent, you should read it. So it's going to take you a minute if you read like me.
It's a little long.
It's longer, but it's worth every word. It's very, very well written. How long did you work on that?
I started on it about a week ago. I played with it a little, and then one day I put some real time into it and kind of played with it for a few days, and then
you wasn't cutting any onions during writing that, were you?
Yeah, a few times, Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why I wrote it. I told Chase this. I'm one of those people, and I guess I've learned this about myself over the years. Everybody has different ways of processing things, right? And some people, it's no right or wrong way. For me, I do well if I write what I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
I probably should have been one of those people. Like, there's a lot of people who tell you that really mentally healthy people journal. I don't. I probably should. I think I would benefit from it. I just haven't done it. But yes, I worked on it for a while, and then Tuesday happened, and I guess Wednesday morning I sat down, and it's been interesting, really. I was fine Tuesday night. I was fine. And because he was okay. And I was fine Tuesday night. I mean, there was a lot of emotional people around. Like, people said a lot of really nice things about him. And you could tell it was genuine. Like, coaches were teared up talking about him. He left a mark on that program, and other parents, and we got some text and stuff from other parents, especially some parents of younger guys.
Yeah,
and that makes you feel good. And but I was okay, and then I wrote that, and I published it. And this isn't about me. I don't want this to be about me at all, because it's not about me, and it's really not even about Carson. The amount of feedback that I've gotten in 27 hours has been wild. Like, the way it resonated, fathers and sons, and young parents or people whose kids are a lot older now and they like brought back memories or but the whole father-son dynamic thing is that's a you can tell with men that's a topic, like, and that a lot of people, because maybe they didn't have a great relationship with their dad, or maybe because their dad has passed away, or whatever the case may be. There was just a lot of people that I don't know what it was about that story that struck them, that made them open up and write about. I mean, I've gotten so many emails like I was fine, and then I started reading people's responses, and I spent the whole day crying. I mean, just and it wasn't about me. Like Carson was like, Dad, I think you're more upset about this than I am, and it was like, well, I'm not upset that your soccer team lost.
It's the
right?
big picture.
Teams are going to lose, right? And you get to the playoffs. Like I told myself all along, when they finished the game, the regular season, I was like, okay, look, to myself, this is gonna end in the next 2 weeks, and I've loved it. I mean, I'll freely tell people, I loved it, man. I loved watching him play. I've fallen in love with the sport. I didn't know anything about soccer a few years ago when Carson, it was obvious, was good at it, and more importantly, loved it.
Yeah.
And so, but I didn't really pay a lot of attention. Like, I'd be like, what was that call? Like, they'd raise the flag, and I was like, what's that? Someone would go, that's offsides. He was off. And I was like, how? And I figured it out, what offsides was. And I began to understand some of the stuff about, corners and boxes and angles and things. And I'm not proficient now, but I can watch a soccer game live, especially, and understand what the teams are trying to do in formations, and I enjoy it. But, I mean, I loved watching him play, and I knew that that was coming to an end, and that he had made decisions, because we spent a lot of time talking about decisions that he had to make, and he labored over one in particular. He absolutely labored over it, and I was okay with that. I told myself, hey, it's going to end in these next 2 weeks. You need to get yourself mentally prepared. So I kind of was, because I'd written this, but the way it struck so many other people, and I mean, I'm not outing anybody, but like some of the emails I've gotten have just been powerful.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, when I read it, the first thing I thought of is how much I missed.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
I got that a lot.
That's the first thing that when I read it is how much I missed because of my job.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Someone asked me today, would Carson ever want to do what I do? And I was like, no. Because people do that, if you had a do-over, that's a complicated question, right? Because if you say, well, I would have done something else, they assume that you have like some grievance.
Right.
I've loved my career. I mean, I've gotten to do some cool things. I've gotten to see a lot of cool things. And looking back, I mean, I was able to come here and have a lot more autonomy. Like the other day, like
talk about the Gaza strips.
Well, but I didn't go to the Kentucky game Tuesday night. Chase went for me. If I had been working still at a big paper or whatever, I probably would have had to cover Kentucky, and I would have missed his last game, and I would have been just physically sick that I wasn't there. I probably would have had to go someplace and throw up. I would have felt so bad about it. And it made me think about, I can remember, I may have just started high school. I grew up in Ruston, and Louisiana Tech lost at home in Ruston. I want to say it was against Delaware, like in what was then called the Division I AA semifinals. And that night, Ruston High School played in the Superdome for the state title. And I can remember my next door neighbor played for the high school team, and his dad was one of the assistant coaches at Louisiana Tech. And I can remember he got to New Orleans in time after Tech's game. And I can remember people getting teary-eyed and stuff, and I was like, oh, they're upset about the Tech loss, because I was a kid. And now I realize, no, it was the emotion of being able to get there in time to see your son win the state championship, because Ruston won that night, because that's what we do. We win. And no, but it was that. So you understand there's a lot of dads out there that have to sometimes sacrifice a lot of personal stuff, and there's a lot of, I don't know, guilt that comes with that. And I think now there's more in our society there's more of a understanding that it's okay on occasion to put family in front of work.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's always going to be, like, it was always, in my case, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like there's a lot of coaches that are out there like this. It wasn't the fact that, like, you felt bad for missing things, but you knew you had to do it to provide for your family.
Of course.
That was, there was,
it's not like you were out at the strip club, right?
There wasn't an alternative.
Right.
But there were times, I mean, this was, and it was hard for my wife. It was hard for my kids. It's like, okay, I finally get to the hotel, and I'm in a hotel in Boca Raton, Florida at nighttime, and I'm FaceTiming. And I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, they think, oh, we're over here freaking grinding, taking the kids. I had to go through, and you're getting to travel to Boca Raton, and they don't really understand. I'm not going to the beach. Right. I'm sleeping here.
Right.
And I'm getting up and I'm chasing 16 to 17-year-old kids, no Tucker, around Miami.
Absolutely.
And you have to do it for you're not doing it it's weird. And then particularly with football, then you go travel on the road the night before a game, right? And you're in whatever, Huntsville, Texas, or where the hell we stayed when we're getting ready to go play Texas A&M on a Friday night. I mean, on a Saturday, and you got to travel on Friday, and your kid's got a game or something Friday night. You can't be there. And then you're getting to go do your cool thing, which is coach, because people think, like I said, when I write my book one day, I won't write it, when I find somebody to write it for me, the title is going to be The Other 353 Days.
Yeah.
Okay. Because people think that your whole life revolves around the cool game day when you turn it on, and that guy's getting a coach on national TV.
Sure.
And there's more that goes into it. It's a full-time gig. And so the guilt was more of you're missing it, but there was, at the time, there was solace knowing that you're doing it for their betterment.
Yeah, of course.
And then, but when you get older, and I'll say this, because this is probably hit coaches, when you get older, and I'm doing what I'm doing now, running my own business, and I'm still involved, you realize that it really wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it really.
You're a happier person now.
Oh.
It's not even close.
Yeah. I was, yeah.
I mean, I've told the story. I know we're running up against it, but one of the things that drove me to, like, okay, we got to do something, is I was covering Auburn. It was my last year covering Auburn. I guess Caroline had just been born. And I walked into the Hilton Garden Inn in Auburn, Opelika. I guess it's technically in Opelika, but Auburn, whatever. And the girl up front goes, I walked in, it was on Friday. Football game was the next day. And I would stay there. I'd get there on Friday and for a home game. And I'd stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'd either come home late Tuesday, or if I wasn't done, I had to stay for Wednesday. So think about that.
Long time.
And she goes, welcome home, Mr. McCready. Would you like your usual room? Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. And you'd start getting into that deal where you'd go home, and this isn't a knock on Laura, but I'd go home, and I was in the way because I was messing up the routine that they had set up.
Yep.
She was raising 2 little girls, still diapers and all that stuff, right? She was doing that. And there was a bedtime. And, because Laura's a structure person. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that. She was a structure person. And so, I'd come home and I wasn't part of the routine. And so now I'm screwing it up, mm-hmm. right? I'm playing with Campbell at a time that Campbell's supposed to be winding down. I'm doing something, I'm making noise when it's supposed to be quiet time. Or I'm just in the way.
You're taking them somewhere and it's nap time.
Yeah, I'm in the way. Yeah, and so that began to hit. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, I got a lot of that, not football coaches, but people going, I missed a lot. And the clock doesn't stop, that it's like a soccer clock. It keeps going no matter what. And they were like, I wish there's some things I wish I had back.
Yeah. And I work for guys, and I'll say this too. I work for guys that were great, allowing, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're great. But no matter how great they can be, like,
you still have stuff.
You still, and it's really you still have things. And like, Hugh was great. Matt was great. Joey was great. Coach Roberts was great. Everybody that I worked for was great. Coach Saban, the kids would come up and eat with us. We were there working, but we used to call them conjugal visits. They would come and eat with us, dinner and all that stuff. And he was great, and you still have stuff though. You know what I mean? Like you still miss everything. And the thing that from a coaching perspective, my wife anyway, is like, especially when I was on the road, my wife was so good at not telling me any of the drama. You know what I mean? Because she didn't want me worrying, like, if I was getting ready to go co-coach a game, if I was fixing to go on a home visit, she wasn't going to be like, like, I remember Brock specifically. Brock's got a scar on his head. You can see it. Brock, we were in Mobile. So when I was coaching at South, Brock and some people were playing football outside. And between the two houses, right? They were neighbor. And where the foundation, was like on the side of a hill. And so when the foundation kicked up, there was like the foundation on the side of the house. Well, Brock fell and hit his head straight on the corner of the foundation. Oof. And when I say cut it open, you could see his skull.
Oh, my God.
Like, it was open that deep to where you could see the white of the skull. And I didn't find out about that for 2 days because she didn't want me thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, she kept a lot, so.
There wasn't much you could do about it other than be all stressed out.
Mama's a saint. She's going, there's a special place up in heaven for people like my wife. She did it. She raised our 2 older ones by herself. So, all right, that's all I got today, Holmes.
We've been brought to you, as always, by our great friends at Reign Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. So please check them out on Instagram at Reign Body Fuel to learn more.
Scoops were brought to you by our good friends at PTG Outdoors. Discover Garmin at PTG Outdoors. From cycling and running watches to tax indoor cycling, Garmin brings innovation to your fitness journey. Track health metrics, explore maps, and enjoy GPS precision for cycling, golf, and outdoor adventures. Dive deeper with swim tracking, train smarter with dog tracking tools, and monitor performance on land and water. Explore Garmin's range, including smartwatches, scales, and advanced off-road instruments, available now at PTG Outdoors. Valentine's Day is coming up. It's coming up. Go to PTG Outdoors and get a Garmin watch for your special someone. Scoops were also brought to you by our good friends Trav and all the people over at Kia of Meridian. Big savings are happening now at Kia of Meridian. Get $10,000 in rebates and 0% financing on select vehicles. Plus, for a limited time, we're matching your down payment. That is awesome. Up to $2,500. That means more money on your car for your car all month long. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit Kia Meridian today. Area code 601-483-6444. That's Kia of Meridian, where great deals drive home with you right after you spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5, an Xbox, a TV, and more. So check them out at Kia of Meridian.
We'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Take care.